In tonight's headlines, Hong Kong's tourism sector is set for a boost as 2 more mainland cities are added to the individual visit scheme. China's top official on Hong Kong affairs, Xia Baolong, says he has strong faith in the city. And the top court dismisses a government challenge over the acquittal of 7 activists in connection with an unlawful assembly.
Residents of 2 more mainland cities will be allowed to visit Hong Kong under the individual visit scheme. From the 6th of next month, people in Xi'an and Qingdao can apply to travel to the SAR on their own and stay for up to 7 days. The arrangement is currently available to residents of 49 cities. Chief Executive John Lee said expanding the scheme would benefit Hong Kong's tourism and retail sectors.
I'm very grateful to the central government's willingness and enthusiasm in listening to the views of Hong Kong and being very serious in helping Hong Kong. I'm very confident that we will be getting a lot of new plans of action that will be helpful to the overall economic development of Hong Kong.
Lawmakers Starry Lee and Peter Shield supported the measure, saying it will attract more mainland visitors. But they said travel agents and hotels should offer attractive tour packages that will encourage visitors to promote Hong Kong by word of mouth when they return home. Timothy Choi, who heads the Tourism Association, said Hong Kong is capable of accommodating more visitors. He stressed that it's important to maintain service quality and allocate sufficient manpower in different sectors, such as hotels and airlines, so that tourists have a pleasant experience. Choi urged the government to raise the duty-free allowance from the current $5,000 to at least $30,000 to encourage spending. Janice Yu, Cable News.
Xia Baolong, China's top man on Hong Kong affairs, began the first full day of his visit with a breakfast meeting in Admiralty with members of Chief Executive John Lee's office and executive councillors. Lee said there had been a very good exchange of opinions between his officials and Xia's delegation, described as a study team.
One thing that has been shared is the actual situation for Hong Kong. The conclusion of all this meeting indicates that the study team is satisfied with the overall situation of Hong Kong and the way that the Hong Kong government is handling it. And they have strong faith that the Hong Kong government's approach will deal with it appropriately.
The Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office Director also met Legislative Council President Andrew Leung and the heads of various LegCo committees. They included lawmaker Starry Lee, who's Hong Kong's sole representative in the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress. She said legislators had the chance to talk to Xia about the latest developments in the city.
We all feel that the central government do support and care Hong Kong very much. Through Mr. Sa's visit, he communicated clearly this message. Hope that Hong Kong's economy and also the livelihood issue can further be enhanced in the Hong Kong society.
After lunch, Xia visited the preparatory office of the International Organization for Mediation in Central. Hong Kong is set to become the headquarters of the intergovernmental group. He then returned to Admiralty to meet entrepreneurs. Janice Low, Cable News.
Veteran opposition figure Martin Lee was at the Court of Final Appeal this morning to hear its ruling on a government challenge over the acquittal by a lower court of 7 people on a charge of organizing an unauthorized assembly 4 years ago. Apart from Lee, the others were former lawmakers Lee Cheuk-yan, Albert Ho, Margaret Ho, Leung Kwok Hong, and Sid Ho, as well as Apple Daily founder Jimmy Lai, who was remanded on national security charges. All 7 were originally given suspended sentences or jail terms of up to 18 months for organizing and taking part in an assembly in August 2019. Last year, the Court of Appeal quashed the charge of organizing the assembly, but upheld the charge of taking part in the event. Priscilla Lam, representing the Department of Justice, argued that the Court of Appeal's interpretation of the charge of organizing the assembly was too narrow. She asked the top court to clarify the definition of organization. Lam told the three-judge panel that they did not have to determine who was the actual convener, as the defendants controlled the event. Court of Final Appeal Permanent Judge Johnson Lam said while the defendants might have played a leading role in the rally, that was different from organizing it. Lam said under the Public Order Ordinance, the organizer has the responsibility to apply for police permission. He added that the actual organizer, the now disbanded Civil Human Rights Front, was present at the event. The government's appeal was dismissed. Maisie Mock, Cable News. All lawmakers at today's House Committee meeting have supported a proposal to fast-track the enactment of the Article 23 National Security Law. Under the proposal suggested by Martin Liao, the Legislative Council will set up a subcommittee to study the legislation. After the first reading, the subcommittee will automatically become a bill committee to scrutinize the proposed legislation. Liao said the procedure can speed up the vetting process. Regina Eat, Tony Tse, and Chen Siu-hong were among those wishing to join the 15-member subcommittee, which will hold its first meeting next Tuesday.
15 security cameras will be installed in Mongkok next month on government buildings and facilities, as well as on lampposts. Police will test the technical efficiency of the cameras before more are set up in other parts of the city in the middle of the year. The government announced earlier that 2,000 security cameras will be installed in 615 spots which have a high crime rate or heavy pedestrian flow. The cameras do not have a tracking function for now, and the images they record will be deleted after 30 days unless police find anything useful for criminal investigation.
Ambulances raced to one of the few functioning hospitals in Gaza, carrying victims of yet another Israeli attack. Many of those killed or injured were children. With medicines and space in short supply, the children had to be treated on the floor. At least 40 Palestinians were killed in the latest series of Israel strikes across Gaza, pushing the death toll since October to over 29,400. The medical group Doctors Without Borders said the situation is so dire that surgeons have to carry out amputations without anesthesia on children.
There is no health system to speak of left in Gaza. Israel's military has dismantled hospital after hospital. What remains is so little in the face of such carnage is preposterous. The excuse given is that medical facilities have been used for military purposes. Yet we have seen no independently verified evidence of this. This situation is the culmination of a war Israel is waging on the entire population of the Gaza Strip. A war of collective punishment, a war without rules, a war at all costs.
At least 4 people have been killed and up to 15 are missing, following an inferno in the southeastern Spanish city of Valencia. Fire swept through a high-rise building as many residents were having dinner last night. The flames quickly spread to an adjoining building. Firefighters rescued several people and battled the blaze all night. At daybreak, officials began an investigation into the cause of the fire. It's suspected that the building's highly flammable cladding enabled the flames to spread rapidly.
Standard Chartered has posted a record jump in net profit for last year, hitting nearly $3.5 billion, beating market estimates. The increase was 18% more than the almost $3 billion it made in 2022. Underlying pre-tax profit in the fourth quarter surged 74% to $1.1 billion. Revenue in Hong Kong, the bank's single largest market, was up 77% to $1.8 billion. In contrast, Standard Chartered's European and US operations lost $330 million. The London-based bank launched a fresh share buyback of $1 billion. Its share price in Hong Kong jumped 3.6% today.
Home prices in major mainland cities fell for the seventh straight month in January, but the pace of the decline was slower. Both new and second-hand homes were slightly cheaper compared with December. China's property market has been sluggish over the past 3 years, mainly because of debts incurred by developers. Efforts have been stepped up to revive the sector considered to be one of the pillars of the economy. These include a cut in the benchmark mortgage rate in the hope of attracting home buyers.